What is up, Evil Dead fans? It's a good day. In this video, we're really going to talk about your first choice on making a chainsaw. Now, are you going to go with screen accuracy, or are you going to make a mutant, which is considered parts of different chainsaws from different parts of the trilogy? But before I get started, a few things. Number one, you're going to hear my heater because it's cold as balls out here. So I am not going to turn that off and freeze my ass off. Number two, I want to show you guys just a few things that I've gotten from a few subscribers, and I call them friends now because they're great people. Number one, let's go with my good friend from Adamedia Creations. Him and his girlfriend, Alexandria, they did this. She did this. She does these prints and paints them, and she's just an amazing artist, and I am so very happy to get this. They gave me this for Christmas. And it says, Chainsaw Brett, I know you and my boyfriend are really close-knit in this Evil Dead community. I want to show you my appreciation for all the shout-outs and reviews you've been sending our way. Hopefully you love this print. Thank you again. Adamedia Creations, Alexandria M. Inker. That might be her name. But she inked this, she painted this, and this is one thing they do sell in Etsy, prints like this. And I forgot, sorry guys, which con you guys are going to be at. Somewhere in the northeast region of the United States. When I look that back up, I will tell people when and where to find you guys. I think it's in October, but they will have stuff like this. Adam's gonna have, or Alex, who's Adamedia Creations, him and his girlfriend. He's gonna have some chainsaws also available for sale. So check this out. They're great people. And if you want certain things that don't involve Evil Dead, they actually sell all kinds of stuff. So definitely go see them. Check them out on Etsy. Great people. Next thing is my good friend Jason Wade Cox. He sent me something for Christmas. Sent me a Christmas card. Hope your Christmas is groovy. It's from Jason Bobby and the Roscoe Pack. Roscoe's their dog. Roscoe even has his own Facebook or something like that. So yeah, I got an Ash Christmas card for Christmas. Not very many people can say that. So thank you. And also, they sent me this. This box was actually made by Gothman. They ordered that from him, and they sent, I can't say the word, magnifying glass, Linda's necklace. This isn't screen accurate, but it's close. And then I know, I think this came from Bobby, his wife, but I'm very appreciative of this. This is very cool. And it fits perfectly in the box, and I love it, guys. This is great. The box is awesome, and Gothman does sell these boxes if you're looking for just a box. And last but not least, an Ash vs. Evil Dead bottle opener. Now, it wouldn't be right if I didn't put this to use. And remember, if you have a shop where you sit most of the time, keep the fridge nearby. Mine's like right underneath me. So this one actually makes a sound. So we're gonna try it out. See if you can hear it. Come on. Oh, I must have worn the battery out. But anyways, he said it said groovy. When I listened to it, it said, didn't say anything, it sounded like a chainsaw. See if I can see if the battery's not worn out. I wore it out. Sorry, but it's super cool. Awesome little thing here. Awesome bottle opener. But I want to say thank you guys again to Bobby, Jason Wade Cox, and Roscoe as well. So with that being said and done, let's go over what you guys should do when you decide to make a chainsaw. Now, if you're making a chainsaw out of a Homite XL or something very similar, I know a guy got an XL12, which an XL12 is very similar to an XL, a little more similar to the Super 2. He got it for 10 bucks. Go with that. Go with whatever you can find. And that being his first chainsaw, that's a really good one to start out with. Since it was only $10, if he screws it up, he's out $10. So, so don't always, right off the bat, you can, but I'm not saying you should or should not. If you find something similar to a Homelight XL and it's your first one, jump on it. If it's cheap enough, do not, if you're gonna spend a lot of money, do not buy something that's not an XL. You know what I mean, you know what I'm saying, guys. Oh, I gotta enjoy this while it's open. So, gosh, damn, that hurt. Hit my tooth. So let's get down to it. When you plan your chainsaw, when it comes to deciding to do a mutant or something screen accurate, now there's 3 different categories. There's the mutant, there's the generic, and there's screen accurate. Now, we know what a mutant is and we know what screen accurate is. Generic is just considered basically just a base model of a certain chainsaw. Everything's right with it, but it's not to a specific detail. Like, all the parts are accurate, but like some of the paint details and some of the cuts may be a little bit different. Some of the bolts might be placed differently. That one's more of a generic chainsaw. It is that style chainsaw, but it's not to higher detail, which they're all okay. A lot of people I talk to, when they start making their first chainsaw, they like the parts from different chainsaws, and that's what they do. They make what is considered a mutant, and which is okay. But one thing to remember, guys, when you make a chainsaw, don't let your abilities hinder you. Let's say you want to make an Army of Darkness chainsaw, but you can't figure out how to do one piece. Do your research and figure it out. Don't just settle on making a separate piece that's from a different chainsaw if you want it to be accurate. Because when you're done with it, you want to be happy, and you definitely want the reaction of saying, oh my gosh, that's the chainsaw from this movie or the TV show. That's really the reaction you want. And you got to always remember, a lot of people, they make chainsaw hands. You want to make Ash's chainsaw hand. That's what you want to do. That's the goal. Because really, I mean, that's really what you want to do. If you go to the extent of finding a home light and planning on making it a chainsaw hand, make it exactly the way you want it. Now, for me to make a mutant now, I would not be satisfied with mutant. I'm to a point now to where every damn thing has to be right. What is going on with these dogs outside? But it has to be right. If it's not right, I have to fix it. But for me, let me show you an example of what it is with screen accuracy. Let's say I finish the chainsaw and I think everything's good and grand. This is what it's like. All right, guys, this is what it's like when you finish your chainsaw and you decided to go sloppy on a part or rush it, and your accuracy is off from what you wanted.
What is it, boy?
So yeah, that's what it's like. That's exactly what it's like. It's like it's just chasing me down. I gotta get it right. But there's really, I mean, there is a right way to do it. There is a wrong way to do it. I think it's cool when some people use my methods and they put their own spin on it, or they decide to do different methods. Like Vinny, he was making his first chainsaw. He went with more of the Rob way of doing it, to where the front panel on the right, the rear panel, and the front panel is all one piece. Now, I make mine separate so I can make sure both are snug in the place I want them, which both methods you can do. You just need to remember, on your rear right side, you're going to be hindered some hand room, so you definitely have to cut into the left side of that separate piece of the body. But that's really up to you on what you want to do. If you really want to have something done with your chainsaw, if you really, when it's done and you want to walk by it and be happy with it every time, take your time. Don't cut corners. Don't get sloppy. Don't say, well, it'll work. It's fine. Because every day you're going to just hate it, and you're going to want to change that. Now, let me show you an example. Now, I've done all my research on the Army of Darkness muffler piece. Now, this is, or was, a stock muffler piece cut in half. And you notice the front is flattened out, and there's a cut right here. And this is all correct. This is from the scene. If you look when it's sitting in the dirt, you'll see it. Let's see if I can get that angle. Kind of like, no, it's that angle. Kind of like that. It's got a little bit of a lip from the cut, and that's flat on the end. And when he's jumping up and grabbing it with his little stump, you'll see it like that. And now it's a little rough, but it's correct. Now let's compare it to a molded piece that I made for an Ash vs. Evil Dead one. It's a little bit thicker. You know, this one's a little thinner because of where you should cut this to fit on the block. And I have made a video on how to do this, and I'll post that very soon. This one's a little bit thicker. There's no cut, and it's still got the nice body roundage right here. And if you're making a chainsaw and you don't want to try to cut that up, contact me. I do sell these. You can have them. They're molded. All you got to do is maybe sand it flat in the back, drill your hole, screw it on, you're done. I'm kind of getting off base here a little bit. So, but when I give instructions, or you have instructions to do chainsaws on different methods, say you want screen accuracy, you definitely need to do your research. And, you know, if you want to follow me, you can. Like my early videos on how to, it's kind of a general way of doing it. But these newer videos, it's ways to get it more screen accurate, to make them better. To make it more like somebody can look at it and go, shit, is that from the show, or is that from the movie? I mean, it's cool. I mean, I take it for granted a lot of times because I got my definitive Ash vs. Evil Dead and my definitive flat top, and seriously, those fuckers look amazing. They look great. I mean, I can't argue. I can't argue with them at all. It's one of the best I've ever seen. I know a lot of people do some really great chainsaw stuff, but I'm getting off base here, guys. Basically, what I'm saying is, do not hinder what you're doing because of time. Like, I know everybody wants to get them together and be done with it, but just don't get sloppy on one part. Spend the time on it to get it just right, so you love it. Like, if you want to make the top extended down like Ash vs. Evil Dead, do that. If you want to make, let's see, you want the flat top to have the ball-tipped toggle switch, go buy one. They're only like $3. Go buy one. If you want the cuff to be accurate, see, there goes my heater. It's colder than shit out here. If you want to have the right cuff for Evil Dead 2, spend the time to make it. I've shown people how to make them out of a damn coffee can. It's very simple. It's a little time consuming, but it's pretty damn simple. It's a little sweet. But take the time to do it. Come up with a game plan first and foremost, because you spent money on this home light. I don't know how much you spent. It could be $10, it could be $150. If you want to get screen accurate, just make sure you get the right body, do the right measurements, add the right things to it. Just don't take away from it, because if you don't get screen accurate and it's close, you're going to have more of the generic chainsaw. But if you stick a different part of like a different cuff on a different chainsaw, like say you stick the cuff from Ash vs. Evil Dead onto an Evil Dead 2 one, you're gonna have a mutant because it's different parts put together. Just be happy with it when you're done. I know one thing that will bug you, and it will happen if you make a mutant. Nothing wrong with mutants, like I said. If you make one, you're gonna have people looking at it. Like if you have like an Evil Dead fan, they're gonna love it. First and foremost, they're gonna say, which chainsaw is it? You're always gonna get that. Which chainsaw is that one? And then you have to tell them, well, it's different parts here and there. And then go, oh, you know, it'd be cool if it was like Army of Darkness, or it's, oh, it'd be cool if that was just Ash vs. Evil Dead. And it's gonna bug you. It will bug you. But if it doesn't bug you, just let it go. I'll give you an example right now. My good friend Gothman made his chainsaw. Love the chainsaw. But he made a video. I made the block piece, came up with the block piece, and he had to make something similar, and then I sent him a block piece for his birthday, and he didn't want to cut that back part of the body where the block is supposed to go. He's like, I don't know if I want to cut it. I like the look of it. I'm like, gotta cut it. You gotta cut it. And he ended up cutting it. Loves it. Doesn't know if he wants to put the bolts on top, but I'm telling you, once you get into the screen accuracy part of it, it's well worth it. One thing you thought you hated for a long time, you'll love. Like I used to hate that too, the cut off back with the block. I used to just hate that. Now I love it. I think it's a great look. When it's all said and done, it's great. Even Vinny told me he hates that too. I'm like, dude, I'm telling you, once you do it, you'll like it. But he made his, back half. It looks a lot like what Rob did from Evil Dead Chainsaws, and it's more of an Evil Dead 2 look, and it looks freaking awesome. I love it. Get a little more drink of this sweetness here. But yeah, it's really what you want and what you got to be satisfied with. If it's your first time chainsaw and you make a mutant, go for it. If it's going to be easier on you, because you can always overhaul it later if you decide to change it into a specific chainsaw, or you can build another one to the specific chainsaw that you want. So your first time doing a mutant, great, go with it. Doing a generic one, it's fine. You're gonna have to do a little research, but it's easy to do. Screen accurate. Now, screen accurate, I wouldn't suggest for a first timer unless you know a lot about details of the chainsaw and working with a lot of equipment, cutting and fitting and sizing. Like I said, when it comes to screen accuracy, it's a nightmare. How many times I have to pause a movie, just pause, slow motion pause, over and over. This is hours of freaking research. But at the end of it, I'm very happy with it, and I know everything's in my brain. Now I don't have to go over it. Now I can just do it. It's done. And to be honest, all these things that I do on building these chainsaws, I have never written a thing down on how to do it. Never have. Everything's right here. I have been told to write all this stuff down and put in a Necronomicon for myself, but I don't know if I will. I might at one time. I'm thinking about it once I retire. I might do some books on how to do the Army of Darkness, Ash vs. Evil Dead 2, chainsaws, and just, I can't put their names down specifically, copyright reasons, but sell them on Etsy or eBay or something, just a step-by-step on how to do it, and measurements and everything else. But that will probably be in the near future. And if you guys are interested in something like that, just a pure guide on how to do that specific chainsaw, let me know. When I decide to stop making these for a while, I'll just start doing that and get that done, and then I'll sell them, and then all of a sudden nobody's gonna need my help anymore. I'll be lonely. Be lonely on YouTube, drinking my sweetness. So enough of that bullshit, guys. But yeah, to end this off, build it the way you want to. Just got to be happy with what you do, and don't cut corners, and don't get cheap, because once you do that, you're gonna hate it, because you're gonna have to explain to somebody who looks at it. Like, say if you do something different with the top panel, just put some ugly bolts on there. Well, these aren't accurate here to anything, but it was just easier to do. It's a lot easier to do that. Fuck easy, okay? Easy sucks. Hard is better, and complicated is better, because you can take hard and complicate it and make that easy. You honestly can. And that is the true sign of a builder who can build anything. You take something hard that's a pain in the ass and you simplify that. Always keep it simple. And with the cuff, I gotta say, the reason why I came up with the cuff for the Evil Dead 2 cuff out of the coffee can is Rob shared something with me from Evil Dead Chainsaws, and it just just ignited a fire in my brain to where it's like, you know, let's make something that's impractical practical. And he reminded me of that, and I want to thank Rob again for that. So after this, I will release the video on how to make this, the measurements. I wouldn't suggest trying to mold a piece like this since you have to do that stupid cut in it. And you have to see through it because it's on the film. You see that stupid bolt sticking through it. And it goes over the bottom of the chainsaw. There's different cuts on the Army of Darkness chainsaw versus the other chainsaws, and also the sizing of the block piece. So guys, hope that helped you guys out. You guys are great. And just build whatever you want. If you want to be screen accurate, do the research and take the time to do it. It may take a little longer to do, but do it. If you're doing a generic one, just an in general one, you know, like it's clean, it's not dirtied up or to certain detail, do some research with that too. And also, if you're doing a mutant, especially if it's your first one, have fun. Have fun and build it exactly the way you want it. Because you can always build another one later or overhaul the one you have if you want to make it more screen accurate to a specific chainsaw. Guys, you guys are great. And to be honest, the reason why I build my chainsaws as well as I do now, it's because of you guys. You guys have pushed me that much further because I didn't want to seem like I make certain videos on how to do it, but it's not as screen accurate as it needs to be. I did not want to leave you guys thinking that, oh, Brett's just another guy who can just generally make them to a general detail. You guys pushed me to be a lot better than I am, and I do appreciate that. So, you know, I got some badass chainsaws sitting in my house, and or my shop here, and I owe everything to you guys, and thank you for your dedication. And guys, once again, have fun building and stay groovy.